Tim Laird here with Secrets of Bluegrass Chefs, the show that takes you out to eat at your favorite local restaurants.
And I'm Kevin Harnett. We've been to a lot of great restaurants through the years, and while many are now part of local history, their flavor and recipes live on.
So join us now for a tasty blast from the past on a Secrets of Bluegrass Chefs Rewind.
It's Secrets of Louisville Chefs, and we're on location at Sullivan University with Chef John Castro of Winston.
He's serving up his version of the hot brown, which he calls the not brown, plus shrimp made simple and oh so delicious.
This dish is probably one of the single most flavorful shrimp dishes I think there is.
You'll learn the secrets to making this yourself coming up.
Plus an after-dinner coffee that's truly on fire. The secrets to that and more right now on Sullivan University's Secrets of Louisville Chefs. Hello and welcome to Secrets of Louisville Chefs. I'm Kevin Harnett.
And I'm Carrie Harnett.
This is the show that shows you how to cook just like the pros do at your favorite local restaurants.
And there's no better place to get cooking tips than here. It's what you could call Louisville's finest on-campus restaurant. Winston's is on campus at Sullivan University, but it's open to the public, offering some of the city's most inspired fine dining. And it offers students at Sullivan some valuable hands-on training. Chef John Castro is the chef in charge.
I get to sit in the car and drive, but I only get to sit in the seat. I can't have my hands on the wheel, I don't have my foot on the gas, and I don't get to touch the brake. Yeah, because this is all about the students who are doing the work.
But there's no question Chef Castro is the culinary genius behind just about every dish. He's been teaching at Sullivan since the culinary school first opened.
Yeah, I was the executive chef at Hasnauer's right before President Sullivan. He came into the dining room quite a bit at the atrium in Hasnauer's and approached me. Wanted to know if I'd be interested in teaching. And I said, I don't know that I am, but we'll see.
The rest is history.
Louisville was a great food town, but it could be that much better, I think. And I'm hoping that I've had a small part to do with that, or the university itself has.
Chef Castro certainly has a lot to do with the quality of the food at Winston's. Every dish is an original, like the Kentucky Not Brown. It's everything a hot brown is, but just the opposite. We'll show you how to make one yourself coming up. But first, the chef is making a gourmet tomato salad that's as colorful as it is simple.
First thing I'm going to do is Cuyo tomato. And this particular dish is one that I kind of picked up when I was in Hawaii. It's actually, it's the name of a street, and a lot of people walk up and down this street in Hawaii. Yeah, it's in Honolulu. And it's a pretty colorful street for many different reasons. So this dish is really how that came to mind.
And it's easy to make when you know a few of the secrets. The first is an easy way to peel your tomatoes.
This is an heirloom tomato, and what I'm going to do with this first is, you'll note that I've given it an X on the bottom, and that is so that it makes it easier to peel. What I've got is a boiling pan of water and a bowl of ice water. The ice water will simply stop the cooking process. So the first thing I'm going to do is just put this in the water, and I don't want to leave it there long. Yeah, I really don't want it there very long. And the water can either be boiling. You can do it in really hot water if you've got screaming hot tap water. That'll work as well. Just make sure your water is good and hot. You'll know that this is starting to, or easy to peel, as soon as the bottom of this starts to slip away. If you don't have a spider in your kitchen, that's what this tool is called, a spider. It's probably one of the better things. Strainers are pretty cumbersome, but this is one of the best things for pasta. If you're pulling something out of the water, this is one of your best tools. So if you don't have one, I suggest that you might want to get one. They're pretty nice. I'm going to pull this out of the boiling water and put it right into the ice water. And something that you'll note is that there are fissures that have started to occur around the tomato. In other words, the skin is starting to break. It was already cut, but now what I want to do now is it makes this really incredibly easy to peel. You can see that by doing this. Yeah. now all I'm going to do is make the dressing. The dressing is incredibly simple, but I think you'll find it really flavorful, and it really pairs nicely with the tomato right now. Reason being, the tomato is sweet and acidic, and this dressing is kind of sweet and acidic. All you really want to do is add all these ingredients together.
Here are the ingredients: chopped scallions, mayonnaise, and a little Korean kick.
This is Korean chili paste, and it's actually made with red beans, and some chili is added. It's not terribly hot. You'll notice a sting on the tongue, but nothing frightening. The other thing is toasted sesame oil, some good quality soy sauce.
And in the case of soy sauce, Chef John says you get what you pay for.
Yeah, go out and buy really inexpensive to really expensive ones. The really cheap stuff will frighten you because what you'll taste is chemical and chemical only. All you want to do with this then is whisk it together. And I'll tell you, my favorite way to do this is I usually just put it in the blender. Yeah. And if you let it blend, all of the mayonnaise that I've got in here actually breaks apart. There are no lumps, there's no texture to it really, and it's a fairly smooth dish. But the longer this sets, I think the better it gets. It seems incredibly complicated, I think, on the palate, but you watched me make it. Yeah, how difficult can it be?
The dressing is chilled and poured right over the slices of those fresh peeled tomatoes. Doesn't that look good?
That's a tough act to follow, Kevin, but sous chef John Smouse is up for the challenge. How's this for originality? Seared quail with lemon caper sauce and asparagus corn hash. Here's how it's done.
These are quail, and we're cooking them breast side down so that they'll get nice and crispy, so they'll have a nice texture. Quail, unlike chicken, doesn't have to be cooked all the way completely through. You can get it to about 140 degrees and it's still real juicy. If you wanted something else, you could even do a game hen, or you could even do just chicken breast this way, because the sauce that we finish it with is sort of like a piccata sauce, so it'll work with just about anything. These quail are done, and I'm just going to let them rest. We went ahead and poured off the juice and just let it rest in that, and then we're going to use this same pan to build up our pan sauce for the quail. For this pan sauce, we've got shallots and capers that we rinsed in water, and we're just going to deglaze with some lemon juice and some chicken stock. And we're just going to let that reduce a little bit.
When the sauce starts to thicken up a bit, the chef swirls in whole butter, which thickens it to the perfect consistency. It's topped with fresh basil and a light seasoning of salt and pepper.
Over on the other side of the kitchen, the chef is getting started on his asparagus corn hash, which is something you can easily make at home. The secret to this is simple. Use fresh ingredients.
We're fortunate to have good quality, locally grown produce to make dishes like this, so it doesn't require as much skill on our part because the food already tastes good. This is corn, whole butter, and shallots.
After a minute or so, the chef adds pieces of asparagus that have been blanched in boiling water for only about 20 seconds and then cut at an angle.
This corn happened to be picked this morning, so it couldn't be any fresher. So 5 to 10 minutes and you'll be fine.
The hash is served with a creative crouton called a hoe cake. It's a savory pancake made with lemon preserves and egg whites in the batter to give it some extra fluff. The quail goes right on top. And there you have it, Winston's quail with caper lemon sauce and asparagus corn hash. Fine dining inspired by Kentucky country cooking.
You know, Kevin, the chefs here at Winston's pride themselves on originality, and you can definitely see it in that dish.
Yeah, and that's just the beginning. Coming up on Secrets of Louisville Chefs, Chef John Castro explains his twist on the Kentucky hot brown. See why he calls it the nut brown. Still ahead.
And up next, what the chef calls the world's most flavorful way to serve shrimp. We'll have the secrets to doing that at home still to come.
Thanks for joining us again on Secrets of Bluegrass Chefs, where this time we're looking back on Kentucky's culinary history.
It's a Secrets of Bluegrass Chefs Rewind.
Welcome back to Secrets of Louisville Chefs. I'm Carrie Harned.
And I'm Kevin Harned. We're here at Winston's, where they offer fine dining right on the campus of Sullivan University.
Sullivan University is known across the globe as a world-class culinary school, and this is where the classroom meets the real world. When you set foot on the campus of a university, you expect to see people on the cutting edge of their fields of expertise. And it's no different here at Sullivan University's Culinary School. John Castro is the chef in charge, and he is never satisfied with normal.
We offer, if you will, some safe fare, so we have some steaks on the menu as well as seafood. But we also have the luxury to, if you will, go outside that realm, and there are some fairly adventurous dishes.
How's this for adventure? Spinach and sautéed shrimp served with a meat-based sauce. It's an Asian technique that Chef Castro swears is the most flavorful way to serve shrimp. And now he's showing us the secrets to doing it at home.
The first thing I'm going to do is get a pan good and hot. I'm going to add some whole butter to it. I'm going to let this brown slightly, but not much. I want it to get a little brown to it, and what will happen is the milk solids in the butter will caramelize, and that's where this color is coming from. So in the first place you'll notice it, as a general rule, is right in the center of the pan, and it'll foam up for you just like this is, all right? Right after that, the next thing that I want to add are shallots. Shallots, if you like garlic, you could add that. I suggest that you don't use onions, and if you do use onions, make sure that you caramelize them well. The next thing I'm going to add are shrimp. And do me a favor, make sure you cook the shrimp. I always get this question, how do you know they're cooked? When they're done. A real basic rule of thumb is about 3 to 5 minutes on either side. Now, some people will say that's a little over. For a shrimp this large, if you don't go that far, you're going to end up with a transparent center. And if the shrimp is transparent in the center, or when you bite down on it, that's really when you notice that it's really not done enough. Nobody wants to eat raw shrimp. Yeah, there's some things that are okay mid-rare. Shrimp is not one of them.
Carrie, once the shrimp starts cooking, it's time to make the sauce, right in the same pan. This is when the recipe really gets cooking.
We need to glaze with a little brandy. If you're going to do this, pull the pan away. Don't pour it out of the bottle. If you pour it right out of the bottle, the flame goes up in the bottle, you now have a Molotov cocktail. Bottom of the bottle will go shooting through your wall. You'll be missing a guest. This is demi-glace. You could, if you're doing this at home, you could add either beef stock or chicken stock. Just make sure you reduce it. And when you go to buy it in the grocery store, if you're going to do that, make sure you buy the one that says double strength. That's really the key to it.
And next, add some heavy cream. In this case, the chef has made it even creamier.
A little reduced cream. It's been reduced by half. So if I have a quart, now I have a pint. Just add this cream to this, and you can see it's thick. I'm going to add some green peppercorns to this. I like it pretty hot, but I don't want to kill somebody with it. So I really am fairly sensitive to that.
And next, more green in the form of fresh spinach.
All you want to do to the spinach now is wilt it down. And I don't want to over wilt it. I'm going to pull it over here. It's ready to go.
To serve it up, the chef puts the spinach on the plate first.
And the shrimp are simply placed on top. Finish with the sauce, and you're good to go.
And look how he finishes it off, Kevin. A sprinkling of diced tomato and a really creative way to add some more color.
This is deep fried spinach. Looks like glass. The Gadid tastes like a potato chip, so it's okay. But when you put it on top and you set it in front of a light, it really picks this color and texture up.
You know, Carrie, once you have all your ingredients together, it should really only take just a few minutes to prepare.
And it's true what the chef says, that has to be one of the most flavorful ways to serve shrimp. And we have more flavorful food coming up from the kitchen here at Winston's. You've probably heard of the Kentucky hot brown, but what about the Kentucky not brown? We're going to show you that and show you how to make it at home coming up next on Secrets of Louisville Chefs.
And later, a fired-up version of your after-dinner coffee. Wait until you see this. It's still to come tonight on Secrets of Louisville Chefs.
Thanks for joining us again on Secrets of Bluegrass Chefs, where this time we're looking back on Kentucky's culinary history.
It's a Secrets of Bluegrass Chefs Rewind.
Welcome back to Secrets of Louisville Chefs, and welcome back to Winston's, right here on the campus of Sullivan University.
The restaurant is named after the man who donated most of the money to get it started. And although it's Winston Shelton's name on the plaque out front, the signature on the food is all Castro. And if the name Castro sounds familiar, it should. There are actually two Chef Castros right here in Louisville. John Castro, who is the chef here at Winston's, and his brother Joe at the Brown Hotel.
There's myself and my brother, and we've been in the food industry for quite some time. And Joe's down at the Brown Hotel, obviously, and I've been with the university for a number of years. And we've been very fortunate to have some pretty well received food items, if you will. We like to steal from each other, and we do it on a regular basis, whether we want to admit it or not.
One thing John will not steal from his brother is the hot brown, which originated at the Brown Hotel.
That may be true, but he does offer something called the not brown.
This is probably one of the most interesting and probably one of the funniest dishes that we do here at Winston's. I've been asked repeatedly why we don't have a hot brown on the menu, and I'm like, you know, if you want a hot brown, you probably should go to the Brown Hotel. It's in town, so you should probably go. I think that's probably a good thing. Instead, what I did was I made the not brown.
As you might guess, the not brown is nothing like a hot brown, but it's still loaded with Kentucky flavor.
First thing, you want to have some breaded green tomatoes that have been fried. When you do it, make sure that you season them with salt, pepper, and the trick of a Southerner is to season them with a little sugar. Most people don't know that.
The fried green tomatoes take the place of the bread in the hot brown. Next comes the Mornay sauce with yet another twist.
And a Mornay is simply, as I said, a cream sauce with a cheese added to it. Typically for hot brown, they use cheddar. I use only Parmesan, which makes a big difference in the flavor. The next thing I'm going to do is just add a little shallot to it.
And here's the big difference in the not brown: lump crab and shrimp.
Add my crab to a hot pan, a little asparagus.
The shrimp goes in next.
But now all these flavors are what they're doing is they're releasing into this sauce. So that's really what I'm looking for. There's crab flavor in it, there's some shrimp and the asparagus. I'm going to throw in a little spinach.
And don't forget the salt and pepper, which goes in just before you're ready to serve.
We're going to put down some shrimp, or a shrimp or two. We're going to take some of the crab, spinach, and asparagus. Put that on there. Another fried green tomato on top. Put another shrimp on top. Take the rest of this sauce. Kind of fill your plate with it a little bit. We throw a little tomato on top, but then there's one other trick. This is shaved country ham. This is something I did one night when I was hanging out and people are like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm trying to do something, leave me alone. Because it's kind of a no-no to throw a pork product into a deep fryer. You don't want to cook your bacon in there, you don't want to do any of that. But I'm like, you know, I think a ham chip would be really good. Simply took the really thinly shaved, country ham from Gatton Farms and put it on top. It's an amazing addition to it, I promise you.
And if you think that's over the top, wait until you see how they serve coffee at Winston's.
This is called the Cafe Diablo Flaming Coffee. We have some 151 bourbon. I'm using Baker's. It's from the Jim Beam Small Batch Bourbon Collection. And then this is the Godiva Espresso liqueur.
The first secret to this is to warm the bourbon and 151 in a bowl so it will flame up.
Now I'm going to add the espresso liqueur.
And this is when it gets really interesting.
We have orange rinds, lemon rinds, and then studded with cloves. And I'll pour the liquor over the orange and lemon rinds, which will extract the flavors from the orange, lemon, and the cloves.
All of the alcohol is burned off during the process, leaving behind only the flavor of the liquor in the coffee, along with a touch of lemon, orange, and clove.
Then we'll extinguish the fire, some coffee.
It doesn't stop there. A standard coffee cup wouldn't do for a drink like this. At Winston's, Cafe Diablo comes in a wine glass that's a masterpiece in itself.
We torch the sugar that caramelizes on the glass. And then we finish the coffee drink with some sweetened whipped cream. And that's Cafe Diablo.
Nothing but the best here at Winston's, Kevin.
Yeah, what would you expect when you're dining out at one of the nation's top culinary schools? If you'd like to try your hand at one of the recipes you saw on today's show, you can log on to our website. It's LouisvilleHomeZone.com. We'll post the recipes there. In the meantime, happy cooking.
And thanks for watching Secrets of Louisville Chefs.
I'm Chef John Castro at Winston's restaurant at Sullivan University. Thanks for watching.